Welcome everyone to the channel. Today we are going to be prototyping a full landing page of a website. A student came to me that he wants to learn some of the animation that he saw on the website that is very interesting, and he wants to also write the animation in code as well, but he needed to know how to achieve the animation in Figma first before coding the website. Shout out to him because he's the one that made the tutorial possible. You have seen the preview, and then I know you are interested in knowing how to achieve some of those stuff. Let's get started because there's a lot to learn. You just have to click on the link in the description to get the resources that we have used. Then what you do is that you come here to this on the name of the website, click on the arrow. Here you are going to get a notch on the side, duplicate to draft. Where you duplicate to draft is now you now have your own copy that you can now share, you can now use, you can now edit. Okay, all I want you to do is to click on class files, so you'll be able to have this file here. When you have this file, you can now be able to duplicate this desktop too, and then duplicate these menus here, so you can be able to use them and follow along. We need to start from this menu here. Okay, every other thing you can recreate by yourself. Basically, once you know once you have gotten the idea on how it is done, okay, double click here to duplicate this one, and you're going to duplicate again. Okay, you press Ctrl backspace to remove the auto layout, and then you hold Alt and click and drag like this to have a copy, create an underline. So what you do is to come here and then use the align tool. So you click and drag like this while holding shift, so that it's going to move in a straight line. The line is going to be 2, the width is going to be 2, then the end point is going to be round, the start point is going to be round, and then we are going to align everything like so. Bring this man here, and then you select the frame tool, frame this man like this. When you frame, it's going to now the frame, it will come with a fill, so click here to remove the fill, and then you have your frame like this. Okay, so all you do now is to press Ctrl X, select this man, and then press Ctrl V. The line has taken its own position on the auto layer, but we don't need the line to be aligned that way. So we want the line, make sure the line is selected, and then click on ignore auto layout, and then basically come and place it exactly how you want. Press Ctrl C to copy the line, select other ones and press Ctrl V. So select everything here, change the color from white, go to selection color, not the fill, change everything to yellow like that. Okay, now you see that some of the lines are not long enough to reach cover up the item well. What you do is to extend the frame and double click and extend the line as well. So do that to any other one. So now that we are done, the next thing is to select this line again, Ctrl C, and select everything here as well, and then press Ctrl V. What we can now do is to select everything here, change it to component set. Click and you have your component set. To select all this line here like this, just the line only, please. You hold Alt key and drag like this. By the way, why my line is hiding the element, like if I press Ctrl Z to undo, you make sure that this frame here is set to make sure if your own is not hiding for any reason, make sure clip content is checked. Okay, that is whenever you select the frame, make sure you have this man checked. Okay, so then hold Alt key and drag like this. So when you get to this point, then go to the appearance section and then take the opacity to 0. The next thing we'll do is to prototype that when there's a hover on this man, okay, it should change to, when there's a hover, the animation should be smart, the curve should be quick. Prototype, click from hovering, and everything should be fine like this. So now that you are done, we can then text whatever we have done, so to know if it's working. So what you do is to come here, select this home, press Ctrl C to copy, select the frame tool, and then add a desktop size here. You reduce the color to something like gray, so whenever you add something that is white or black, it will not be hidden. So now you have something like this. Okay, you select the desktop and then press Shift spacebar to preview. It's relatively small right now, so you can extend this one to see it more. So when you hover on it, you can see the way, wow, interesting, you can see the way it's appearing there. It's nice and I like it. It's working. The next thing we do is to now select this man here, Ctrl C, and come here to this one, Ctrl Shift R to paste and replace. So basically copy and paste to replace every element here. Every element has been replaced. Select this man here, Ctrl C, double click here to select the menu, and then press Ctrl Shift R. Now they have been replaced. So if you come here and to preview, let's see if it's working. So when you hover, you can see, wow, interesting. Just I need an adjustment, but every other one is fine. If we should hover, then the overlay should come up. Okay, how do we do that? We need to use this one that is here. Okay, remember, it's the one that I used to replace this man here. So if you to confirm, if you click, you can see the instance of this component set. They are all there. Okay, so what we do is to now align all the overlays exactly the way they should appear. And what I mean by that is that if I select this man and bring it here, so this is how it's supposed to appear. I want to check the distance between these two. So to calculate the distance now, if you hold Alt key, I can't be able to preview what is inside. So what I can do is to hold Control. While I'm holding Alt, I'll hold Control as well. And then when I hover on this, you can see the distance between them is 12.4 basically. So when you come here, what you do is to select these people here like this and align them 12.3. So you select, you hold Alt and hover, that is 22 right now. You use the arrow key to move. So I'm going to make it 13. The distance should be 13. So for it to be aligned perfectly, what you do is to come here. You see this ruler here, you can now click and extend like this. So in case if you don't have the ruler, you press Shift R to bring up the ruler, or you click on Figma, you go to View, and then you see rulers, Shift R. Okay, so, now you can now be able to select this ruler and bring it up like this. Please, anytime you're bringing the ruler, don't bring it inside a frame. You can see there's a frame here. Make sure it's not inside a frame, so you don't get a weird result there. So you align to the frame like this, and then you align this man to the ruler. But before we can be able to get whatever we want here, when there's a hover, like if I select this man now, you can see when I hover on this, nothing is happening. I want to make this man that if there's a hover on you, you should change. How can we be able to do that? I'm going to show you. What you will do here is to select everything here. I'm holding Shift and clicking to duplicate all of this like this. Okay, and I'm going to align them. 2 is going to be here and 3 is going to be here. So I will select everything. You be careful, I have done something bad there. When 2 is there, I'm selecting the frame, not the element inside. Okay, so when you have all of this selected, I want to give them a little bit of a gap, so you can see they are all auto layer. So I'm going to give it a padding of 5 on both sides. So the vertical and the horizontal padding like this. So you select and make sure they are all hug. When there is a hover on them, okay, they should change. So we'll select everything just like this and then go and convert to a component set. And in this component set, I'll select the component frame and extend it like this. We'll select all of this and hold Alt key to duplicate like this. Okay, so the next thing is to style this one exactly the way we want it to be. First of all, what you'll do is to change this, go to selection color and make this color brighter like this. Just make it a little bit brighter, that when there is a hover on this, this color should be like this. Okay, then go to the prototype now and select and prototype that. On hovering, by hovering, it should be instance. The animation should be instance, and this one as well, the animation should be instance. Why hovering, why hovering, why hovering? Now that you have something like this, why hovering? Okay, there's a need for you to, like, you can see when you select this one now, the name here is sorry, when you switch to design, if you select this one, you can see the name is frame 110, and this one 111, and this one 112. So you might want to give them a different name, so you'll be able to, like, layout 1, layout 2. I think that would be much better for you to understand, but for now we don't need the name. Okay, so basically what you do is to Ctrl C and come here, Ctrl Shift R like this. Okay, and Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift R. Okay, and the home 3 there, Ctrl C and Ctrl Shift R like that. Now they are cool. Okay, so we can move on to the next one. I want to do this one as well so that you'll be able to do the rest. So I'll select this, duplicate like this, basically align. Now you have everything. You can then align so that they'll be perfectly spaced out and tidy up like this. Okay, what you do is to duplicate. If you select this man and change everything to hog, change the width to hog and everything to hog, then give them a padding of 5. Okay, so they will have a nice spacing between each other. Okay, so then the next thing is to duplicate like this and then go to the selection color, and I want to see the color that I've given this man here. You copy the color code here, Ctrl C, and select everything here, then go to the selection color and press Ctrl V, then select everything here like this and switch to component sets, so there will now be one. Take this man. We are having some errors now. It said the names are conflicting. The variants are conflicting. Said some of the variants are having the same properties applied. That is because this one. Okay, you can see all of them are default. So we might need to rename them. So when you select this one, change it to about. Change the names to what they represent. Okay, now that you have renamed them, you can see those errors are no longer showing, and it will now be easier for you to identify them whenever you come in there. Okay, the next thing is to switch to prototype, and remember the type of prototype, the type of animation we gave it before, that when there is a hover, you should change to this. While hovering, change to this. Okay, basically do to the rest. Select this man Okay, you press Ctrl C to copy, and you come here and press Ctrl Shift R to replace. Do the same thing to the rest. Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift R. So from what we've done here, and then request and encourage you to do these ones on your. Now that we have done prototyping this, now if you come here to this one, just for this, you see that when there is a hover, the element here changes. Okay, like there's a little bit of animation there. Okay, like that. Okay, so it just hover and it becomes a little bit faded, you know. And we'll duplicate this man here. I will select this man and then make sure the distance is 12 or 13. So I'll make it 13 and make sure it's aligned like this. Okay, so I'll bring another ruler, drag like this, another ruler. Okay, so remember what I told you earlier, as you're bringing a ruler, make sure you're not bringing it on a frame. If you bring it on a frame, it will be hidden. Okay, so I'll basically add all of this. Okay, so the next thing now is to duplicate all of this and then begin to align them. Even if they are overlapping, you don't have to worry. Just focus on making sure that this one is aligned perfectly to this particular section here. Perfect. Okay, and the next one is the service. Drag it and make sure it's aligned here. To select all of them like this. For what we want to achieve now, to be able to take effect very well, what we do is to duplicate this man. We are going to convert it to a component like this, and then duplicate for an instance of the component. Press Ctrl X to copy and select this one. Press Ctrl Shift R to paste and replace. Okay, why we are having a component is that if there's any time that we did any change here, it should be able to reflect here without us having to do it manually in every part. So then the next thing we'll do now is to select everything here and then add it a component as well. So this one is going to be a component like this. Look at what we want to do now. Remember this man. What we do is that if you select this man here, you go to the component and then add a variant like this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to have a variant of 7 like this. So look at what will happen here. If you should come here on this variant, you are going to select everything here. You are going to move them down like this. And again, make sure before I move them down, I think it is important you select everything here like this. Clip content check, so that if you move something, it will be hidden. Okay, so the next thing is to select this and this and this. So move them down. Okay, you don't have to move them much, just a little bit like this should be fine. Reduce the opacity to 0. When the mouse enters the home, only the home should appear. So we'll select all of this and then make them 0. On the pages, only the pages should appear. We'll select all of this and make them 0. Services should all be 0. Now we have extra. Let me show you here. whenever you hover on this particular site, on this driver, it shows you another sub menu there, right? So what you do is to extend this frame like this, and I'm going to select this one, okay? You basically move them down and move this one up a little bit. Now for you to understand what I'm going to do here, I will extend this one like this, and so that I can now be able to position this one this way. So the idea is that when now you hover on this, it's going to change like this. Control C to copy, and then when I come here, what I will have is this, Control V to paste. So basically, once there is a hover on this one, it should be like this. There should be a little bit of gap between them. So once you hover on this, it should change to this. Duplicate all your variants and arrange them according to the way they are going to appear. Okay, it is now time to begin to prototype, and then prototype them according to the way they are going to appear. So the idea is that if once your mouse enters this place, that is once your mouse hovers on this menu, on this home, then this home menu should come up. Okay, so this one is more like an empty variant, while this one's contain the way this thing is going to appear, that is the menus. Okay, so what we are meant to do here, if you come here and say when your mouse hovers on that mouse there, instead of hovering, you are going to change it to when your mouse enter that home. Okay, it's going to be okay, change it to smart animates if it's not, and then the curve should be ease in and ease out, and then the duration should be 300. Okay, so the idea is that this, if your mouse enters this menu, then this one should appear. Okay, then we are also going to prototype this, because when this one appears, and then there's no other command that has to follow up. What it means is that when it appears, it's going to stay there forever. You get? So we want to give it a command that when the mouse appears, you can see the only difference between this variant and this one is just this particular menu. This is home layer 1 and home layer 2 and home layer 3. Okay, that is just the area that is different from here. Okay, so what you basically notice is just the appearance of this. You will not notice there's a change on this place because they are completely identical. So since this one is going to be the obvious change, you are going to tell this guy that if the mouse leaves this place, that means if once your mouse leaves this place, it signifies that maybe you perform all the action you want to perform here, or you are no longer interested here. So you will definitely go to the next menu and then check out what is there, right? So we'll tell this guy that when the mouse leaves this area, okay, when the mouse leaves this particular menu, I'm dragging it to this empty variant, and I will change this guy to when the mouse leaves. Okay, the settings should be the same apart from the trigger that has to be leave. So when the mouse leaves, it's changed back to this place. Okay, so the next one is the pages. Then I'm going to prototype on this page that when the mouse enters the page menu, then it should open up this page menu. Okay, so it's going to be like this. When the mouse enter this place, okay, then it should be able to open this one. Then I will prototype this particular dude here, that when the mouse leave view, then change back to the empty variant like that. So change the trigger to leave, and the settings should be the same. Then we are going to prototype this one, which is service. Okay, so there is one unique thing about this. Okay, you can see that this driver has a chevron. Okay, so this chevron means that there's more options, right? So when the mouse enters the driver, then it should expand to see booking, FAQs, and page 404. Okay, so what you do next is you're going to prototype the driver that when the mouse enters the driver, then it should open up this particular one. Okay, then change it to mouse enter. The same thing we are going to do here, that when the mouse leave this particular one, right, when the mouse leave this dude, okay, it's going to change back to this one. But we can also prototype that if this mouse leave this one, it should change back to the empty variant. Okay, so if that is what we want, you can do it that. Okay, that is, if the mouse leave this guy, it's going to change to this empty variant. Or what that means is that when the mouse leave this small one, okay, it automatically close the menu to this. But if you change it that when the mouse leave this man, okay, let's change it to mouse leave, then it will still be here. That means this menu will still be around. So the menu will entirely close when the mouse leaves this particular one. Okay, so that is what I want. So I'm going to close this. The next one is after pages is service, right? So we'll go to be careful. Okay, sometimes it can be a little bit complicated just as the way it's getting. Okay, but you should just be able to interpret what is going on, and you'll be able to find solution if your own is not working exactly how you want it. Okay, so we'll make sure the service is the one selected, and then prototype that when the mouse enters the service on the empty variant, then it should open up the service menu. So change it to mouse enter, and that should be okay. Then now prototype the service menu that if the mouse leave you, change back to the empty variant, which is this click here. Okay, so change it to mouse leave, and that should be fine. Then the next one is shop. When the mouse enters the shop, okay, I'm double clicking to be able to select the inner element. So when the mouse enters the shop, it's going to open up the shop menu, right? And I'll say mouse enter. Okay, then this section I'm going to prototype that when the mouse leaves the shop, it should go back to the empty menu, empty variant. Okay, so mouse leave like that. So the last one I believe is news, right? So I'm going to prototype the news that when the mouse enters the news, it's going to be mouse enter the news. It's going to open up, okay, but when the mouse leaves this menu like this, it should go back to the empty variant. The mouse leave like this. Okay, I'm taking time to explain, to go this all over again. So when you do it with me, I think you should be able to sink into your brain so you don't forget it, because yeah, our brains are not designed like that of computer. So if we stop doing it, it can leave us alone. Okay, so that's why I'm going over it over again, so you'll be able to grab whatever that is going on there. So the next thing we are going to do is this. We will want to check if this guy is working. So we'll select this variant, Ctrl C to copy this variant like this, and then go to this this empty frame that we've been using to preview. Then I press Ctrl V to paste. Now I can see pasted, and then the next thing is to launch the preview. So when you launch the preview, which is shift spacebar, right, then you are going to see this guy. All you just have to do now is for your mouse to enter here, and then you can be able to hover around, and when your mouse leaves, so you can see, yeah, it's kind of poppy. Okay, you can see this one has appeared. Yeah, cool, right? You do something like this, something like this, something like this. Okay, so this one has nothing, and I think we are good. Maybe you are not seeing what is going on. You can expand this now. Sometimes it can be very small, very small for you to see when the preview is it's just like this. Okay, so all you just have to do is to expand it, and then you have something like this. So all you can do next for me to do like that. All right. Okay. So when the mouse leaves, and you have it. Okay. the next thing is, how can we be able to put this variant inside here? Okay, so you might say, wow, we've been able to do this one. Putting it there will not be hard again. So let's do it the way you have in mind now. So I'm going to Ctrl C to copy, and when I come to this area, okay, when I come here, what you can see now is that I have to double click and double click, yeah, just this area. So what I'll do now is to press Ctrl Shift R to paste and replace. But look at what happened now, it has scattered the whole stuff, and that is because the height of this variant is higher than what was there. Okay, so I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo, and then let me give you solution to that. If you come here and duplicate, sorry, I'm putting Alt and clicking and drag to duplicate. Okay, so let's position this dude here. Please be careful. I just press Ctrl Z to undo the operation there. So what I want to do, since I want to replace this dude, okay, with my variant, then what I'm going to do is to duplicate it out like this. Okay, when I duplicate it out, you can see that the height is it's very small there. Just look at the height, just 23. But my own, if I select this guy, look at the height is 388, which is very big. So the solution to this is that anything you select, anything in Figma, just right click on it and then set frame selection. That is, you are adding it more like artificial frame. So when you add this artificial frame, it will automatically frame the height, or then what you cannot do is to resize it manually like this. Something like this, okay? And if you want to use this exact height, you can see that this place, this is the width, right? And this is the height. The height is 23. So you can just come here on the artificial frame that you added, and then that, okay, it's already 23, which is pretty cool. But if yours is not 23, you can just type 23 here. Now you can see what we did now is that our variant is still there. Like, I can literally click on it. Can you see component 30, right? But we is inside a frame now. Can you see frame? Can you see we have frame 81 here, from 182, okay? And then you can see frame 182 is containing a component, a variant of a component 30, right? So what I'm doing now is to Ctrl C this guy to copy it, and then come here and select this dude here, and then press Ctrl Shift R. When you press Ctrl Shift R, how do I know that? You can see there's no difference there because everything is looking completely identical, right? But what you can see is that since you have this guy, this is frame 182, right? And when you go here, you can see that frame 182 is also selected. So which is, yeah, it has replaced it with whatever that was there. Now we have to test it out here to know if it's working actually. So this is the preview, and then obviously you can refresh if it's possible. So in case your own is not working, sometimes when you launch the preview, or maybe when the preview has been on, and when you check your prototype it will not work, all you just have to do is to refresh, or maybe you check your internet connection sometimes. Okay, so now let's see. If I go to this dude, you can see it's working. Pretty cool. And if I come here, this one is working, this one is working. Okay, so if you go to pages, I think the driver, yeah, the driver is working, yeah, something like this. Okay, so but the downside about the method that we use is that you must have to leave this guy before it will close. Like if you go to another place now, you can see it's still there waiting for you, so you just have to come here and leave before it will be started.